We are live here at St. Louis Park, Oriole Stadium. It's nice, 80 degrees, cool breeze, low wind, not too much. We got sevens on the line. We got the Eden Prairie versus Edina. Lanterns coming in, your current state champions. EP looking to take the helm of the Lake Conference here in 2018 at the 2018 Lake Conference Championship.
Looks like everyone has his post and we're about to get underway.
Pulled by Brent. Rally with the disc. Rally, second year's captain here. Definitely a key player for Eden Prairie to watch for. Hopkins playing a tight mark right now.
Looks like very good shutdown defense downfield by Edina, but it also looks like there's some stagnancy within the vertical stack from Eden Prairie. It looks like they're also able to get their resets, so as long as they take their time and are patient, options should open up such as that.
Unfortunately, I did not see the number. Looks like number 7.
Eden Prairie off to a quick 1-0 lead. Looks like they were patient enough and were able to get their handler resets pretty much at will, allowing them to buy some time for something to open up downfield, as we saw just there.
Eagles now pulling disc. 1-0 as they complete their hold. Ryan Rasmussen pick up the disc. Rasmussen sends it to AJ, to Packy, otherwise known as Jack Rosenthal. Now to Eddie Rosenthal. They are brothers, yes.
First D of the game, first turnover of the game, comes from Eden Prairie. They were coming in more of a horizontal stack than a vertical stack like we saw from Eden Prairie. Let's see how that plays out the rest of the game.
A crucial turn by EP. Looks like Ryan Rasmussen will be picking up the disc. Don't jump!
All kinds of isolation from Edina's end zone set, really looking to create one-on-one matchups like they did just there, and narrowly escaping through a nice poach from Eden Prairie to convert their hold. We're at 1-1.
We are live. Back again, it is 1-1 as both teams complete their holds. Offense.
Last time Eden Prairie's offense came out, Edina really tested them defensively downfield. And a really nice contain in the backfield too. That'll probably be a foul.
It is a no contest. Caught by Eric Best.
Eden Prairie holds again early in this game. It looks like Eden Prairie is content to take the 5 to 10 yard unders that Edina is giving them. But as far as meaningful unders, those are going to be a little bit harder to come by. Looks like Eden Prairie is going to be content with the little ones until the deep shot opens up downfield, and so far they're 2 for 2 on those.
We are back here. It is 2-1. All three teams playing their offensive points. Two teams playing their offensive points.
Just 2 teams on the field, Ari.
Just 2, 3, maybe in a few years when Ultimate expands.
See how the sport evolves.
That is number 7, Andrew.
Looks like a miscommunication there from Edina between the cutter and the handler. And unfortunately that went into a poach from a defender who had his head up.
Edina getting up for that deep. Packy throwing it deep, and can he get the bookends? Not quite. And he is down. Obviously, we wish him the best. Hopefully, it is nothing serious. After that injury timeout, we are all good though. It looks like AJ was able to walk it off on his own, but he did come off the field. The disc was still turned. But after that one, looks like they're getting it right back. Rasmussen, the stud from Herzl Camp, and one of the few who is not attending Hopkins to pick up the disc.
Looked like a nice set play from Edina, clearing the space right in front of the disc and allowing for total isolation. Excellent bid there. Just a bit out of reach.
Number 7, Connor Smith, a YCC U20 player last year for the Minnesota team with that D. Captain Hopkins is fed to pick up. Puts it just out of reach for Eddie Rosenthal.
Looks like Edina caught the defense napping there a little bit, but they couldn't quite convert. Just a little bit overthrown.
Philip Kuhn with the disc for Eden Prairie. And he puts it a little too far. You gotta wonder how Ryan Rasmussen throws such nasty throws without letting that hair get in his face. Good break throw to the middle of the field. Hopkins sends it deep. And that is a goal. Number 7, Connor Smith.
Excellent throw there for the goal, putting that right in the receiver's pocket. So far, Edina's offense hasn't really clicked quite as much as you might expect, but Eden Prairie's defensive line offense hasn't been able to convert it into really meaningful possessions yet. I don't think that'll be the course for the rest of the game, and Edina, if they really want to keep in this game and keep ahead, I feel like they'll need to really tighten it up.
We are back here. The tie game, 2-2. As both teams continuing their holds. Girelli to pick up the disc. And a quick score for Eden Prairie. 4 really fast throws right up the middle for their hold.
And if I'm I'm Edina's offensive line, I'm really frustrated to see that after you've worked so hard for every single point that you've gotten. It can be really frustrating to have to go back out on the field after only a minute or two of rest. Let's see how they respond.
We are back here with Eden Prairie and Edina on a nice spring evening. 3-2 is the score.
The rear flick pull from Eden Prairie. Decent yards and inbounds.
Nice layout grab from Packy, aka Josh Rosenthal, to Pete Rock, who puts it to the back of the end zone. Is it a goal? It looks like it is. No, it is not. He was out the back of the end zone. So no goal, but a very good looking throw.
And as we've seen throughout this entire game, Edina's doing a great job creating isolation downfield and getting open players. They just haven't been able to convert at the clip that they'd like to enjoy on their throws and catches.
Talk about two athletes getting super high on that jump.
And this is the closest we've seen to a break thus far. Eden Prairie being able to work it down the field on a very athletic catch.
Jake Rogers with the disc. He is the captain. Looks like he will be attending Northwestern University. Making an unreal catch over Jack Rosenthal there.
Very impressive grab right there. And we see the athleticism of Eden Prairie earn the first break of this game with two excellent catches in the air. Let's see how Eden Prairie's offense responds and if they put any new members on their O-line.
4-2 is the score. Eden Prairie getting the first break of the game. We'll see how Edina responds.
If I'm Edina, I'm not panicked right now. I know that my errors are the results of execution rather than decision making. Just keep doing what you're doing and throw and catch like you've practiced the whole season.
Looks like Rasmussen is manning the helm here. Edina handles.
Some excellent defense going on downfield from Eden Prairie. And we see it capitalize into a turnover here with a nice run through D. Let's see if Eden Prairie can convert its second break in a row.
Rogers going for it, and C. Smith saying, not today. Getting it back for Edina. Bill Brand with the disc. Good job, Eric! Good job, Looks like it's a 50-50, but it is a turn.
Well, that one might have erred more on the side of a decision-making error. I really like the decision-making process on the whole from Edina. They're utilizing the width of the field, something that is extremely valuable. And as long as they keep doing that, if they get their throws and catches in line, I think they'll be able to score at a really nice clip as Edina turns it back over, as Eden Prairie turns it back over, excuse me.
Looks like Eric Best will be marking Ryan Rasmussen. And AJ Johnson completing the grab and giving Edina another one back. As Edina brings it within one now, it is 4-3, Eden Prairie.
Credit to Edina there for keeping their end zone offense very simple. A lot of people want to call very complex plays. A lot of people want to do a bunch of misdirection and stuff like that. It's not entirely necessary. If you can create isolation, all it takes is one good move, and you have all kinds of space to just throw it and let your athletes be athletes. Let's see if Edina can get it back on track here by getting their break back. Live.
We are live. Pirelli picks up the disc off the pull. Pirelli sends one cross field. Edina saying not today. They swat one out of bounds.
Good defense from Edina. I didn't get quite enough of a good look at it to really diagnose what kind of defense they were running, but it looked like more of a forced middle or maybe straight up. Really contesting the huck, forcing a more errant throw than the thrower probably would have liked.
Nate Seymour with the disc, and he sends it over to Hopkins. There is a injured Edina player on the ground. As always, we hope he is okay.
Looks like the goal will indeed hold up, but it's unfortunate to see an Edina player on the ground after an excellent play like that.
Good to see the injured player was able to stand up and gingerly walk off the field. Edina now back on serve, as it is 4-4. EP to start.
With that break, we got a brand new ball game.
Looking deep to Girelli. Girelli on Hopkins. Meyer with the disc. It looks like a foul was called.
Excellent play in the air by Girelli. And really mature peace of mind.
And boom goes the dynamite. Another point for Eden Prairie.
Excellent patience after the incredible grab by Girelli to get the disc back into the center of the field. Doesn't really matter what age or level you are, after you make an incredible play like that, you always want to do something more incredible to top it off. Even though the best option might honestly always be in the center of the field, get it reset, let your end zone do its magic. Excellent job, excellent patience. Good conversion from Eden Prairie.
5-4 now, as Eden Prairie is set to pull the disc.
We still have yet to see a totally efficient and totally cleanly run Edina O-line. And it's not for lack of effort, and it's not for lack of movement downfield. Everyone seems to be in his right place. It's just that they can't quite convert on all their throws and catches necessary to get it all the way down the field into the end zone. But give credit where credit is due. Eden Prairie is making them work for everything that they get on offense.
Edina setting up. Looks like a horizontal stack. Joe Wolfer with the disc. JV Gold turned varsity player in 1 year. And an error by Edina. Turns it over now. Eden Prairie will take over. Looks like Misha with the disc. Bishakora puts it up.
Good patience with the high stall count.
And a hammer throw from the captain, Rotenhoist, for the score for Eden Prairie, and that is another break to go up 6-4.
There's a common misconception that a hammer is not a legitimate throw. And I understand that that myth is dying, but it is indeed a myth. It's not only a good throw, it's also a patient throw. It's also the right throw to make when that's the throw that you have to make to get it over people. If you can throw it, you're right there, go ahead and make it happen. If you have a coach who tells you not to throw it, it probably means that your coach can't throw it his or herself.
Eden Prairie, after that break now, sending out a strong defensive line. As always, Edina is going to send out a strong O-line. We'll see who comes through on top. Looks like handling is Pete Rock and Eddie Rosenthal and Ryan Rasmussen.
Good cut, Eddie, good cut!
Edina staying chilly here. And just as I say that, a deep one goes up to AJ. AJ with the turn and burn for an easy score to Jack Rosenthal, a.k.a. Packy. And Edina puts one back in. 6-5.
There's that execution finally coming to fruition for Edina. Excellent job by them not panicking in the midst of all of their chaos, some of their shortcomings. It was not anything more than a minor adjustment away from converting at a steady clip. Let's see if their defense can start to chip away at this lead that Eden Prairie has.
So it's 6-5 currently. Coach is finishing up talking to the 7 on the line. I gotta say, with how nice this weather is, back when you played for, I think it was Hopkins Ultimate, Hurt, what was it like on a day like today when it's conference championship?
Well, back when I played the old Dinosaur IM, we didn't actually have the conference championship. Not to say we didn't have our fair share of big games, and big games is a feeling that's universal. You get a certain sense of goosebumps that are especially apparent right before the first pull. They subside a little bit, but they're there for the whole game. It's a type of electricity you just can't quite describe.
And there we have it, Eden Prairie now turning the disc. That is Josh Felton, former Colorado College Frisbee player. Future, excuse me, not former. Oh, Hopkins tries.
Excellent attempt at the break throw there. Couldn't quite pull it in.
Eden Prairie just punts it all the way down to the other end.
Not necessarily a bad look. You had two guys on one who were going deep. It looked like an open look. Just couldn't quite get the right amount of touch on that throw.
Eden Prairie deciding on, should we go quick? But instead decides to set up the end zone. And puts it home for the score. It is now 7-5 in favor of the Eagles. As the Opa chants start rolling in from the Eden Prairie faithfuls.
Back to that deep throw from Girelli. Not a bad decision, just couldn't quite get the right touch on it. And I understand that in 2018, we'll go 2018.
Hey, I like 20,000. We'll see if we're
Let me know what that looks like. In 2018, a lot of high school teams, especially the ones we see here tonight, are especially skilled and don't necessarily have to play the field position game. That being said, if you're going to turn it over, you'll take 70 yards per turnover rather than 2 and giving them a short field, especially with a good defense like we've seen from Eden Prairie thus far. Not a bad decision at all. In fact, it led to a goal.
So both teams now, looks like, or I should say Edina has called the timeout. Go over some things. What do you think the strategy is coming out of this timeout, Ethan?
Well, it's a big point in the game. It's 7-5, meaning that if Eden Prairie scores this next point, they take half. A very big deal, especially with a couple breaks in hand. From Edina's standpoint, they're probably just trying to let cooler heads prevail, letting them know both the importance of this point, but also instilling in the confidence in their team that they should all have, letting them know that they can score at will, provided they do their job correctly. From Eden Prairie's standpoint, with that breather, and especially with the break coming up at half, you are often able to stack this line with some of your more skilled players who might play on the O-line. Get just your 7 best guys out here, get a real power line going. If you score this point, the advantage is absolutely tremendous. With your backs against the wall right here, it's really time for Edina to make a statement. And you can see in their body language a sense of confidence, intensity, and calmness. It's a serene sort of feeling, but it's the type that you need to come back against a tough team like Eden Prairie.
As Eden Prairie is set to pull the disc. Outside in backhand. Thomas Tuchenhagen to pick up. Eden Prairie not letting them. Oh, tied up the disc. As I was saying, Eden Prairie is not letting them put it deep. Edina staying chilly though and working those unders. Unders and resets. Rasmussen throwing some sauce to Josh Felton for the score. Staying chilly, it does pay off. 7-6. The Eagles still leading Edina, but Edina does get one back.
Excellent job by Edina's offense there. You could credit a lot of things going right for their success in that point. If you asked Nate Wool, he would say it's his genius timeout call. Well, that might deserve part of the pie chart. I would attribute their success there to a huge emphasis on using the width of the field. When things don't open up downfield, as they often don't with good athletic defenses, it's very important to take whatever they're giving you. In this case, it was resets, it was swings, it was the width of the field. It's basically an insurance policy that lets you know that, hey, something might not be open downfield right now, but if we swing it downfield and if we swing it back, people can only play shutdown defense for so long. Doesn't really matter what the matchup is. 2 capable players, given 30 seconds, the offense is going to get open in due time.
Pulled by Edina, now Eden Prairie to pick up the disc. Oh, AJ trying to be a hero there for Edina. AJ Larson, an all-conference nominee. Eden Prairie running a nice zone, and just as I say that, Ryan Rossman reads him like a book and swats the disc down. Turnover for Eden Prairie. Edina picks it up with Eden Prairie running just a man defense on him. As Edina looks to break and bring it back to 7 apiece. But that is to be determined.
The zone call is something that you might see from coaches and teams once or twice in the first half. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it a few more times in the coming half.
And there is the break from the 6'4" YCCU 20 player, Connor Smith. So the real question is, though, why do you run the zone defense in such nice weather?
That's a good question. A lot of people like to run zone in tough weather, and it's basically for the sheer purpose that it forces them to throw a lot of throws, figuring that in tough conditions, if we're going to make you throw 50, 60, 70 throws, we're challenging you to do that, and we don't think you'll be able to do it. Not necessarily that we're going to generate a D, but that you can't complete that many throws in a row. In this case, in such nice weather, I would attribute it more to throwing off the offense's rhythm. Edina has had a really tough time challenging Eden Prairie's offense. They've had really good flow, they've had really good rhythm, and if you let them do that for so many times in a row the same way, it gets really repetitive, it gets really easy, and it doesn't really matter what kind of effort you put in on the defensive level. When you change up the look, it's basically challenging them to score on us a different way. If you have to change what you're doing, that's another factor you have to consider. This time it paid dividends. They had to throw many throws. They were doing a pretty good job at it, but the rhythm was switched. It was something new that Eden Prairie had to face that they hadn't seen before, and it worked out for Edina. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that several more times in the next half.
So it is 7-7, which means obviously half in 1 point. The game is either 100 minutes long or 15 points, whichever comes quicker. But in games 2:15, half is regularly at 8. So first team to score 8. And as we sit at a 7-7 ball game, we will see who takes half. Will Eden Prairie get it? Or will Edina get the break to start half?
With that last break, Edina has put itself in a really good position. If they let off this point, things are right back on serve. But since they started this game on defense, if they get this break right here, they'll start the next half on offense with the lead. This break would effectively serve as 2 breaks if they can score out of half too. As we see Edina coming in zone once again, and why not? We see how it worked last time.
Eden Prairie able to convert and break the zone as they are now leading to more breaks. As they say with zone, breaks lead to more breaks. Eden Prairie staying calm around the end zone.
It looks as if Edina is partially switched out of its zone defense into man, but not completely, especially around the disc. It's a little bit difficult to tell with what exactly they're doing downfield.
And Eden Prairie able to sneak one in by the fingertips. I'm not quite sure who scored that one. But Eden Prairie takes half, 8-7, as we stay on serve going into halftime. Your Eden Prairie Eagles with 8. The Edina Hornets, 7.
We'll see with the amount of time given for halftime if Eden Prairie makes adjustments to this zone. That can be the danger of throwing it too many times on defense in the first half of the game.
So it looks like halftime is winding down here. And no Shell Silverstein, we're not looking up. But anyhow, with halftime winding down, Edina getting their 7 on the line, Eden Prairie getting ready. Now then put yourself. You are now Nate Wool. You are in his shoes. What are you telling your players?
I'm telling them that despite some early struggles and despite some things that might not have been optically pleasing, the score is right on serve. Everything is where it's supposed to be. And I'm telling them that imagine if we play to the potential that we know how to play. Imagine where this score is going to end up at the end of this game. I'm preaching confidence up and down. Confidence in your abilities, confidence in what you've practiced all year, confidence that you can be the better team tonight. But that's not going to go without saying Eden Prairie deserves all the credit in the world right now. They have put Edina on its heels. They've made them struggle probably more than they're used to. They've probably made them nervous. They've put them in a position where they need to teach confidence up and down.
And that is true. With 8 points now, most people would not expect Edina to be down at half. But 8-7 is the score. Eden Prairie saying, hey, we're still in this. Don't count us out. They want that trophy just as much as Edina does. So lots of credit to Eden Prairie for maintaining their lead and not getting scared, not backing down. Awesome.
To this point, things have come easier for Eden Prairie on the whole. I wouldn't expect things to stay that way. I'm guessing this game is the tale of two halves in terms of tone. We'll see how that plays out in terms of results.
So the pull is up with Edina picking up now on offense, down 8-7. Once again live at St. Louis Park, playing under the lights of the beautiful stadium. About 15 minutes from downtown Minneapolis. Rogers picking up for the Eagles. Or excuse me, Grotenhuis. A future Mama Bird player, as he'll be attending Colorado at Boulder.
Their 21-year national streak just came to an end in the last few weeks. I'm sure things will change once he gets in there.
Big layout. Unfortunately, the disc is put just out of reach of Grant Harstead.
Excellent attempt there from Eden Prairie.
Harstead, a two-sport athlete, as he is also a cornerback at Eden Prairie, playing for their varsity elite football program. And there it is, a Callahan from Eden Prairie to start the second half. Wow. Callahans can be one of the greatest things for the team on the receiving end of it, and a detrimental hit to the team who threw the Callahan.
As a handler, if I'm staring 70 yards down the field on my own corner, that's one of the worst places to be offensively. It's not a bad decision to try to get it out to the center of the field where you have some more breathing room, but you have to be careful of over-anxious defenders who are looking to bite and take that Callahan. And credit to Eden Prairie. Shutdown handler defense is one of the hardest things to do, and it's impressive that he got a hold of that in the end zone for a Callahan.
So Caliland coming into play as Eden Prairie gets one there, and that is a break for EP out of half.
And if that's any predictor, my prediction of a tale of two halves in terms of tone is absolutely spot on.
It's now 9-7.
If I can pat myself on the back.
I'll let you do it.
Appreciate it.
Joe Wolford picking up the disc. Dennis in the end zone. Oh, wow. Hopkins, Rasmussen. Getting airborne on that one. Yes, sir, take flight. Wow.
All you can say is wow on a catch like that. Impressive vertical, impressive hang time, and impressive hands to finish off the play. Excellent job.
exciting second half. Starting us off here with a Callahan. Edina answering back as Hopkins Rondesfed getting airborne on that one. Coming down with a huge grab for Edina and the Lanterns.
And for all the right reasons, you saw a very fiery Nate Wold trying to get his defense amped up to try to get them back into this game after that Callahan. After 2 electrifying plays to start this second half, if Eden Prairie can come out with a cool, collected offense and walk it into the end zone, that's going to do a lot to set the mood for the rest of the game.
We will see how Edina answers back here. Credit also to Stephen Lederman, assistant coach. He's been with Nate here, I believe, at least 3 or 4 years. A little more, probably more. Can't say for certain. Oh, and a crucial turn as Girelli throws it to Olin Huss, who was not expecting that one, right through his hands. And Edina now takes over.
With a short field, this is an incredible opportunity that Edina has been given to convert.
Hopkins is able to hit Josh Felton. Oh, 2 players collide. No call on the play. Eden Prairie trying to play a little sneak attack, sending someone deep right away. Edina able to fish that one out. Also back and make the D, so Edina back with the disc.
Perhaps a bit overzealous off of that turnover, but we have seen the field position game work in Eden Prairie's favor before.
I feel like we were just here off a turn. Hopkins to Josh Felton. Josh Felton, another JV gold player, turned varsity. And let me tell you, once he did, he has not looked back since. He has been crushing the game for Edina. Captain Jack Rosenthal got a nice ring to it with the disc as he makes the pass. Seymour. Now back to Hopkins. As Edina taking their time on this one. Want to make sure they can capitalize. AJ Larson. One of 3 siblings in the program. A daughter on the varsity girls team and I should say a sister on the varsity girls team and a sister on the middle school team for Edina. Speaking of which, another score for the Lanterns, and we right are back on serve. So 9-9 is the score, as it is back on serve, and this game, to some surprise, has been on serve all, but to Eden Prairie, they would say this is just how it's been drawn up. You can just feel the intensity and the atmosphere in this game, watching the sidelines as they are communicating to all 7 players on each team on the field, making sure everyone knows what's going on. As EP puts one a little bit too far. Calvin Cruz. Oh, he thought Calvin Cruz picking up. AJ Larson.
Just off the hands there, Eden Prairie avoiding a very big break from Edina.
Oh, and what a save by Rotenhuis, who I apologize, but I believe I've gotten his name wrong about 4 times. Unfortunately, it is my fault.
Hey, Drew!
Alex Girelli with the disc.
Drew!
Olin Haas now. Haas is staying chilly. Knocking around his fence on him. Not today. Letting it be and putting it deep, but just out of reach. Jack Rosenthal.
In the last couple of possessions, Eden Prairie has looked a little bit rushed or maybe even panicked. That last one that they had, they looked a little bit more calm. Eden Prairie just fell at the hands of Edina, who put a really good defense on them downfield.
Although a long ways from the end zone, if you were in Eden Prairie's shoes, you are the coach. Do you think it would be a wise decision to call a timeout here?
Unfortunately, that one didn't work out for them. I'm not sure if their legs are showing signs yet of fatigue, but if I'm Eden Prairie, I'm calling a timeout simply to give my players a breather, not necessarily for any adjustment. I'm leaving that for the next offensive possession.
Foul is called.
Edina's player claiming that he had possession of the disc before Eden Prairie's player came and knocked it away. Doesn't look like there's any disagreement on Eden Prairie's part. We'll get back to playing.
Get out there, Sam.
Looks to be a contested foul there.
Twice? Come on!
We might have some more discussion coming up as they're wondering if his feet were in or out of bounds. Looks like they've determined it was out of bounds.
So he just towed it out, unfortunately, and Eden Prairie picking up and instantly starting the deep bomb cross field. Caught by number 7. That's Andrew Grotenhuis. But a stoppage in play here.
So it's going to head back to that front corner. Like we saw earlier on the Callahan, this can be the most intimidating spot on the field to hold the disc.
As the players getting set back up, play will resume off the travel.
To me, it looks like there's a dispute going on about whether or not Girelli should be able to pick up the disc and walk to the front of the end zone or not. Or whether or not he has to. As I understand it, the rule is you can pick up the disc and throw it, or if you decide to walk it up to the front of the end zone, you have to bring it all the way up. There might be a dispute going on whether or not he decided to pick it up and bring it forward, but only brought it part of the way up to the front of the end zone, which I don't believe you are allowed to do.
Cool thing about this sport, though, is it is self-officiated, so there is that human error factor. With that said, it is not always the ref, or in this case, observers, that get to make the call. It is the players, only the 7 on the field for each team. The sidelines are not allowed to say anything. Not supposed to, I should say. But speaking from experience, sometimes it's hard. You gotta bite the lip.
Tempers do flare, people do disagree, but at the end of the day, we all recognize that this is part of what makes the sport special. It's self-officiated.
And we are live in play now with Pirelli picking up. Setting another cross field. AJ on Gordonhurst. AJ winning that battle, getting position. So he sends it middle of the field there now to Josh Felton.
There he is.
Timeout called here by by Edina. Definitely the wise thing to do with a short field, an imminent opportunity to score, and after a long point, sometimes it's good to just get a fresh breath of air and get your offense set up to the point where you can just call a play and get things going and set your attack at the end zone.
And it sounds like off the timeout, we'll be coming back live at a stall count of 6 for those wondering Frisbee 101. A stall is basically the amount of time you have with the disc, which is 10 seconds. And if you do not get rid of the disc or throw to another player within 10 seconds, you are stalled. So therefore, coming in at 6, you'll have just a few seconds to get that disc out of his hands.
6 is a high, bordering on uncomfortable count to look downfield for any significant amount of time. If I'm Edina, I might set up a play that gets a fresh stall count, basically just getting the disc to the nearest person, the easiest person, so you can then run your play with a fresh count starting from 0.
Timeout is officially rounding up now. Coming into the stall 6.
Edina setting a vert stack, going straight for the jugular with a hammer.
And the blue hands by Mr. Calvin Cruz, future University of St. Thomas Purple Rain player. Ethan, I'm sure you are looking forward to having him on your roster.
Hey, if he can catch hammers, I'll take it. Excellent job by Edina there. Instead of going for the dump reset like I had predicted, they instead created all kinds of space towards the break side, opening up any type of look for a hammer. When you have all kinds of space like that and nothing but green grass over there, in this case turf, your throw doesn't even have to be necessarily spot on. All you have to do is give your person time to get there. Throw the player open.
So Edina getting its first lead of the night here at 10-9. Pull is up. Eden Prairie looking to come back and bring it to an even 10 apiece. We'll find out. An awesome YCC matchup going on here with Hopkins Rondesfed on Alex Girelli, excuse me. A little too much lettuce on that throw. Causing a turn with Edina now picking up the disc.
Well, it's absolutely not time for Eden Prairie to panic yet with Edina knocking at the door. It is very important that they at least make Edina work really hard for every single pass that they complete in this possession. This game is reaching a tipping point.
That's a goal for Edina as they take a nice break there. It is now 11-10 Edina. Or 11-9, excuse me.
Come on, Andrew, let's go!
Excellent patience near the end zone. Excellent pass out to space where only the Edina receiver could get it. As a defender, you try and you try to take away the easy spots of the field, but if the thrower can get it there, there's really not a whole lot of chance for you. Excellent job by the thrower.
So after that one, the Edina faithfuls getting on their feet. Eden Prairie, though, still staying calm.
Now's the time for Eden Prairie's offense to get back to that calm nature that led them to so much success in the first half. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Edina throw out that zone defense that they found some success from late in the first half.
Jack Rosenthal to pull the disc here. Jack, older brother to Eddie Rosenthal in the Edina program. Coming down with it hot and putting one home, a goal glazed in glory. Beautifully done by Eden Prairie, saying we're still knocking on your doorstep. Just down one break as it is 11-10 now. One score.
That's the quick type of point that Eden Prairie needed. A tough throw and a tough catch over to the break side, but as long as the receiver can get there, that's virtually undefendable as a receiver downfield.
As we are back, the Lanterns of Edina leading 11-10 over the Eagles of Eden Prairie.
Hard go! Come on! Oh, yeah!
Ball by Eden Prairie as Pete Rock pick up the disc. We'll see if his throws are as good as Pete Rock, the musician's beats are.
Legendary hip-hop producer for all my 90s hip-hop fans.
For those wondering, number 21 is the young Max Hammer, and I say young because older brother Sam Hammer, known as a top player in the program.
I don't know what that was, but that was certainly a spectacle.
Some would say there was a attempt at a world's greatest, where the player leaves inbounds, catches the disc, and throws it before hitting the ground.
Couple attempts.
But judging from that one, it may have been a little bit gratuitous. Connor Smith getting a very crucial D there, putting Edina knocking on the doorstep of another goal. As we'll see what Edina's cooking up here. And we call that the bookends. After a D by Smith, he capitalizes and catches the goal. As Edina now leads 12-10.
Certainly Eden Prairie's Edina's point to gain, that being their O point. But Eden Prairie's D-line, if they'd like to have more success in the future and get back into this game, they need to do a better job hitting their resets like their offense has been doing so successfully. It didn't look like their offense really gave much of a chance to the person who was trying to get open and who had the highest percentage of getting open. Instead, they looked to a low risk or a low reward but high risk throw, and that's not the kind of thing that you want to do when you're so close to your own goal line.
As Hopkins set to pull. The Eden Prairie offense working well all evening, taking their time, knowing when they want to put the disc deep and when they want to stay chilly. Looks like Edina though, coming out with that Z, running a zone here. Eden Prairie able to break through the cup.
They're still in fast break mode. Let's see when they turn off the faucet, so to speak. They're still moving. It doesn't look quite like Edina's zone has fully recovered up until right just now.
As you can hear from Coach Nate, they are switching to a man defense. And EP not quite in, but taking it back and putting an easy chip shot right through. It is another goal for Eden Prairie as we have a 12-11 game with the Lanterns of Edina hanging on to a lead by the threads.
Breaking a zone like that is what we call going like a hot knife through butter. Excellent job by Eden Prairie breaking through that zone in spurts, really utilizing the transition. A zone defense like that is only as good as its transition into man. And it's a tricky thing to do. It's like a fire drill. You have to communicate with one another. You're guarding certain spaces, and suddenly all 7 people have to be guarding 7 other people. And if there are any miscommunications, a good offense like Eden Prairie's can exploit that like they did just there. Really nice job.
I've got to give credit to both these teams. Games like these can get very stressful. They can be close. And obviously in high school, I mean, you don't always prepare yourself for something as tight as this game. But both teams staying calm, keeping the score within reason. No team giving up here at all. This game, at least for right now, looks like it's definitely going to come down to the wire.
With that last zone offensive display from Eden Prairie, I would be surprised this late in the game if we saw that defense again from Edina. I think Eden Prairie, putting out that display, can know exactly what to look for the rest of their offensive points for the rest of this game.
Both teams strategizing before the pull. Once the hand goes up from the team receiving the disc, the game will be live. Offense has the hand up. Defense and offense both up hands. The disc is live. Edina picks up. Pete Rock quickly over to Ryan Rasmussen. Eden Prairie looking to run a man, on Edina, and I believe a travel was called. So the disc will go back to Ryan Rasmussen, being guarded by Charlie Cumley. Tight defense being played. This goes up to a wide open Jack Rosenthal with the one-hander. That is another goal for Edina as they inch closer to 15. Currently the score 13 for Edina, 11 for Eden Prairie.
Rosenthal commanding the flow of that point for Edina's offense. Very impressive display. Top to bottom, 1 through 7, specifically from Rosenthal.
Some would call him the future Captain Jack.
Would they?
We can edit that part out. Thank you, Nate.
If Edina continues their cool flow like that, I think it's going to be tough for Eden Prairie to find an answer to that. That was very impressive display of offense, especially this late in the game. Not that Eden Prairie couldn't make a stop there, but as Jack Wooden said, John Wooden, coach of UCLA, champions never lose, they just run out of time.
So 13-11, Lanterns of Edina hanging on. We'll see how Eden Prairie's offense capitalizes. As I've stated before, credit to where credit is due. Eden Prairie offense has been stupendous this entire game. We'll see if it persists. Unfortunately, just as I say that, a miscommunication and not the greatest of throws. Edina now will pick up off the turn.
I couldn't tell for certain, but to my surprise, it looked almost like Edina came out in that same zone defense. You can hear Nate Wolf on the sidelines begging his team to call a timeout.
Come on! 2 seconds! 2 seconds!
By the end zone, you're okay losing yards there as long as you keep the disc. Nothing is more important than possession.
You can say that again, Ethan. Possession is your heartbeat. You lose possession, that can be crucial. And there it is, Josh Hopkins to A.J. Larson. And just like that, Edina now up 14-11, knocking on the door of another late conference championship.
Edina capitalizing on the miscommunication from Eden Prairie. If I'm Eden Prairie, I'm not panicking at this moment. You've been able to score at will for the majority of this game. There's nothing to stop you from being able to do the same right now. Heads are up, people are walking with a good pace. The coach has a very good temper on him. Temperament, I should say. Let's see how Eden Prairie responds after that miscommunication. From all the way up here, you could hear Nate Wool begging his Edina D-line to make it a long point. And that's the type of thing that you generally can control. It's tough to stress to a D-line that you need to score this point. It's tough to stress to them results-based things. But if you can make it a long point, that is to say, make Eden Prairie's offense work really hard for everything that they get, you can call yourself successful.
And the Edina faithfuls really starting to get loud here at St. Louis Park Stadium. Relly sending one deep. What a grab that is number 20, Brandon Krager.
Excellent job by Edina's defense recovering and forcing Eden Prairie into an end zone set. And another miscommunication, unfortunately, is going to go the way of Edina.
Number 97, Grant Kohner to pick up the disc for the Lanterns. Kohner, a former JV Gold player, playing under Walter Starchild's JV Gold team. One of the first teams to make it into the, as a JV team, to make it into the Division I bracket at the state tournament. Hopkins picks it up. Staying chilly. And there he goes up. And brought down by Jack Rosenthal. And there you have it, folks, after a stupendous game, back and forth. Edina reclaims back-to-back as they bring home the Lake Conference Championship trophy back to Coleman Stadium. 15-11 is your final.
Congratulations.
Boy, was it a close one.
Congratulations to Edina on an excellently run second half of the game. Eden Prairie has nothing to hang their heads about. They fought well the entire game as well. It was a game of adjustments. It was a game of effort. Edina manages to come out on top. It's exciting to think about the matchup that might happen ahead in state.
So, on this wonderful Wednesday evening, always a great night for some Frisbee under the lights. I'd like to thank everyone that was able to make it out, everyone able to watch. Another great game between Eden Prairie and Edina, two classic teams. And once again, congratulations to your 2018 Lake Conference champion, the Edina Lantern.